Shalom. I'm back again with another edition of Nuts and Bolts. I don't have the big nuts and bolt thing up here, but that's what I'll put on a cover thing. What we're going to do here, this happens to be Shavuot, so we're right smack that night. This is Pentecost, the night of. And I decided that these will be little shorties on what you have to overcome to get into the Promised Land, because we happen to be reading in Numbers, that section. So I want to read just a little section of it, which is 13, what was it, 23? Yeah, 23 through 33. And what it's going to do, it's going to bring up a few names here, and I've got a couple of them down, but the one we're actually worried about is the very first thing they run into, which is Amalekites. Okay? And let's just dive right in here. I pray this will be a blessing to someone. It'll start opening your eyes. This is chapter 13 of Numbers, verse 23. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought it of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the brook of Eshcol, which, by the way, when you break it down, Hebrew is grapes. Cluster of grapes, grapes. Because of the cluster of grapes, which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. Hence we got the 40 years in the wilderness from unbelief. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children. Now this is the 12 spies they sent out beforehand. To the children of Israel, unto the wilderness of Panrah, to Kodesh, and brought back word unto them, unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land, which goes back to the grapes. And they told him, and said, We came unto the land whence thou sentest, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. We're holding up the grapes. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anakim there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south. And the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains. And the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. Now, I want to read a little section here I've got written down on Anakim. The children of Anakim were ordinarily large. They were perceived as giants. The reason for their large stature is unknown. They may have been this may have been due to a genetic disorder. It's called modern giantism, which is linked to tumors and the pituitary and other genetic things. According to the Fawcett's Bible Dictionary, the Anakim were descended from Arba, okay, or Arba. Joshua 15:13, 21:11. Dwelling in the south of Canaan, Hebron was called from him Karjath Arba, i.e. city of Arba. Anak is the name of the race rather than the individual. Compare Joshua 14:15. The three tribes bore the names of Sheshai, Anakim, or Anakim, or Anamim, and Talmim. They were in the spies' time a terror to Israel, Numbers 13:28. But they were destroyed by Joshua, except a remnant who escaped to the Philistine cities Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. That's in Joseph chapter 11, 21, and 22. Caleb, who brought news as a spy concerning them, was eventually their destroyer, Joshua 15:14. Hence, we find a giant race among the Philistines and in Gath in David's day. An undersigned coincidence between the independent historians Joshua and 1st and 2nd Samuel confirming the truth of both. Goliath is what we're just talking about here. Now, Anak, neck or necklace, father of the giants of the Anakim, the son of Arah, a Canaanite, which is what Anak means. What I'm getting at here, though, it's I want to show you a few things just to get you to understand how these words work. Paran, or Pana, which is 6290 in your Strongs. Look it up. If you don't have a Strongs, go online, look up the Sword Project. It's a Strongs, you'll figure it out. It's not that hard, especially if you can look it up. It's Pana, or Paran, from Para, which is 6286. I got that. Messed it up here. But it means ornamental, or Paran, a desert of Arabia. But it has root words. Okay, it has roots in it. And Pa'ar, a primitive root to gleam, i.e. causatively embellish, figuratively to boast, also to explain, i.e. make clear oneself, denominatively from Porah, which is 6288, to share or to shake a tree, beautiful, boast, self, go over the boughs, glorify self, glory, vault self. Ra, or Porah, like raw, Porah, properly ornamentation, i.e. plural, foliage, including the limbs as bright green, bough, branch, sprig. So what I'm trying to get at is there's meanings behind these things. It's not just like a name of a place. It has a connotation of beauty, glory, and ornamentation. Okay, and there's a reason I want to go there. Just give me a few seconds here. We're just going to blow through a few of them here. Kodesh, which is also mentioned there, which is 6946. Okay, and I happen to know that one very well because it's, well, you'll see here. So it's a 546. Kodesh. The same as Kodesh 6945. Sanctuary, a place in the desert. However, let's go back to the root word from Kodash, a quasi-sacred person, i.e. technically a male devoted by preposition to it's unclean. We'll just leave it at that, okay? It's got sodomite, unclean, okay? Ugh. So, and then you have Kodesh, which is a sacred place or thing, rarely abstracted. What I'm getting at, though, is these all have meanings. It's not just a name. So when you hit Amalek, and the plural of it is Amalekites, as in a nation, it actually means a people that licks up. Okay? This is kind of the first thing we got to get through. That sounds really odd. Well, let's just break this completely down. And that's what this is all about over here in this section. Is to help you out. Okay? Aven, Mem, Lamed, Pe, or Kuf. And I'll show you what that means here. This is the actual word in Hebrew with vowel points. Okay? Turns out to be 6002, and I'm going to read that for you. But the one right below it, you notice, is missing. By the way, Hebrew is written from right to left, so the first three letters in the name is the same in the root. You look for 2 or 3 of them to find the root words and things. And I have my Strongs out here just to read you out of a Strongs if you all have one. And it happens to be 62. I don't know how to. Aha, Amalek. For a descendant of Esau, also his posterity and their country. But its root, if you'll notice that, 5998, which turns out to be Anma, a primitive root to toil, i.e. work severely and with irksomeness. In other words, not happy doing it. Always kicking around, kind of being a pain, if you know what I mean. Always complaining. Okay, it's like irony. Well, not quite, but anyway, I hope you're starting to get to understand what I'm trying to get at. This is what you're dealing with. It's a people, okay, that are like that. And the reason I got this up here is because this is the actual, each letter remember, some of you people have actually already told this, but each letter in Hebrew has a meaning. This is an I. Doesn't say that, but yeah, an avon is an I. It means to see, to know, or experience. This is mem, water. When you break it down, it's liquid, massive, or chaos. Think about water. You know, any water you throw anything in, it just goes crazy. Lamed, that there is the, some people say sheep, some people say cattle, but it's the traditional hook that you see, that you would see a sheep herder use, and he'd reach out and grab a hold of. You know, and have the hook on there, and the lamb's got to go over here. Well, that's why that means control, or control, authority. The tongue, what we say, has a lot of power. Okay, which goes back to authority and control. In fact, this is a kuf, is the back of the head. That's why it's behind, the last, the least. So you can put these together, and however you seem to make this feel right. What I'm trying to do is teach you all how to do this, so that you can do your own word studies all the way to the basics. This is somebody who knows chaos, has authority, and the least. How's that? Or he sees chaos or some liquid. Liquid don't really fit this situation, so we're going to have to use chaos here for sure. To see, he sees chaos or he experienced chaos. Actually, I think he knows chaos would be better to say this, okay? And with knowing chaos, because the root's in here, it also has authority or control of something, the least, or the last, where he controls from behind. Ooh. He has the ability to control chaos from behind. You see what I'm getting at here? We have to work out where this is fitting in. A people that licks up. What's behind? I'm hoping this is kind of making some sense to you. Alright, because this is really amazing stuff. This one's actually a hard one. The next one is a Hittite, okay, which I want to do a little separate thing on. And it's way faster and way more clearer. In fact, you know what? I want to wait a half a second here, and I'm going to attempt to just add it right in. The reason I waited that half a second is simple. If it doesn't work, I can cut this video off right there. So, Hittite. Let me find my writing utensils. There we go. Because the next one, nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anakim there. The Amalekites, which is the first one we hit, dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. It's Hittie. T-T-I-E-S. I know what this one actually means straight up. But if you look it up, and you can go online, I'm going to put the link eventually somewhere. But there's a really nice link, but you can look it up yourself, that tells you what the Hebrew names inside the Bible mean. Don't look up Jewish names. You'll just get all thousands of them. What you need is one that tells you, it's a dictionary of what a Jewish name means. Simple as that. Okay, but anyway, Hittites, which happens to be 2850, it actually ends up being terror. If you look it up. If you work this out, 2850. But it's a personal terror. Hittite, patronymically from Chis, that's 2845, which is going to be a root, I believe. But descendant of Cheth, Hittites or Hittites. But it's got a base in 2845 from Chitin Ter, Ches, an Aboriginal Canaanite, Heth. Okay, and that one is from 65. which is going to be on the next page, but it's terror. Okay, one who is consumed in terror is what it really means. Okay, root, proper to prostrate, hence to break down. One who's right. One who's broken down literally by violence or by confusion and fear. He's broken down by fear. You see what I'm getting at? And that's what Hittite means. Right there. There's a Hittite. Bam. That's a spirit we got to overcome. You got to overcome these things to get to the promised land. Okay? I know a lot of Christian people believe that all I have to do is say, Jesus, come into my life, change my heart, and you don't have to do anything else, basically. Just go to church. Well, it's not how this works. There's a lot more to this. He didn't put all these scriptures down there for you to just say one or two words. I'd like to know how that thing got to auto. One or two words, and that's it. Okay? What he was doing, all these scriptures are here for reasons. And this here happens to be one of them. Okay, you've got to, if you're terrified of, say, spiders or snakes, let's go with snakes, then you don't want to go for a walk in the woods. He uses your terror against you in some way, shape, or form. He uses terror or fear to operate in our lives in ways to control us. Okay? Kind of like this. Okay? From behind. He's sneaky like that. He don't get out in front of you and go, hey, I'm a big bad, I'm Satan, and this is what's going to happen if you don't do this, this, and this. He's very subtle. These things are very sneaky. And by kind of ingraining in us the fact that we don't have these problems like afraid of this or whatever, or we're going to go through all of them, he manages to get over on us and the fact that we don't even know it's there. Well, what I'm getting at though is if you have arachnophobia or fear of spiders, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Snakes, heights, it's a fear that you're not supposed to have. God, the Father, says no fear. You're not supposed to have any. You're not designed to have fear. Satan uses that against you. And that there is where it comes from. That's the second thing on the list. And you'll note that the lists are different. In other words, when Abraham, right after the Abrahamic covenant, which is Genesis, for some reason I can't remember the chapter, 15, 17, 18, 19. When you get to 19, it gives this whole list again. But they're different. Hittites are in there. But Amalekites I don't believe are. In fact, I know they're not. They show up later. You see what I'm saying? It changes over time too. But what the short of the version is, these things mean something. And in this case, an Amalek or Amalekites is right here. I got it broken out for you. Is the people that licks up, literally. Or you can break it down into what's called Paleo-Hebrew. They know chaos. They have authority, okay, from behind. In other words, they work from behind. Hittites, that's straight, one that destroys or breaks you down with fear. And I'm going to go over the rest of them here in just a minute. But I don't want to make these too long. So this is going to be Amalekite and Hittites. I'll probably do two, and out. All right? Shalom. And I hope this has helped you in some way or form. Okay? And if it has, pass it on.